S02 Vocabulary Words. Pre-Science Lesson 2, Vocabulary Words. Abundantly, in large quantities, plentifully. Adaptation, a trait or set of traits that has evolved to help an organism survive and reproduce in its environment. Autopsy, an examination of a body after death to determine the cause of death or the extent of disease. Axis, an imaginary line about which a body, like the Earth, rotates. The Earth's rotation on its axis is what causes day and night. Biofuel, a type of fuel that is produced from living or recently living organic materials, most commonly plants like corn, soy, or wheat. Calipers, a measuring instrument with two adjustable jaws, used to measure distance or thickness, such as the dimensions of a shipment. Camouflage, the use of coloration or patterns to blend in with the surrounding environment. This is a type of adaptation used for concealment. Conclusion, a judgment or decision reached by reasoning, based on the evidence gathered. Consumer, an organism in a food chain that feeds on other organisms. In the example, the caterpillar, frog, owl, and snake are all consumers. Contradict, to assert the opposite of a statement made by someone. In the context of the document, it means a piece of evidence goes against the initial hypothesis. Control group, the group in an experiment that does not receive the treatment or test variable and is used as a benchmark to measure how the other tested subjects do. Controlled experiment, an experiment in which only one variable is changed at a time in order to isolate the results. Data, factual information, such as measurements or statistics, used as a basis for reasoning, discussion, or calculation. Debris, the scattered remains of something that has been destroyed. Decomposition, the process of rotting or decaying. Deduction, a conclusion that is reached based on evidence and reasoning. Dependent variable, a variable whose value depends on that of another. In an experiment, this is the variable that is measured or observed. Evidence, information, facts, or objects that support or contradict a hypothesis, helping to prove or disprove its truth or validity. Experiment, a procedure carried out to test a hypothesis. In the text, the student performs an experiment by placing 2 cups of water in a freezer to see which freezes first. Experimental group, the group in an experiment that receives the variable being tested. Explanatory and response variables, these are related to independent and dependent variables. An explanatory variable is a type of independent variable that a researcher observes but doesn't manipulate, though it's believed to affect the outcome. The response variable is the outcome that changes as a result, making it functionally the same as a dependent variable. Extinct, a species, family, or other group of animals or plants having no living members. Food chain, a sequence showing how energy is transferred from one living organism to another. It starts with a producer and follows with a series of consumers. Frictional force, a force that resists the motion when 2 surfaces rub against each other. Habitat, the natural home or environment of an animal, plant, or other organism. Hypothesis, a proposed explanation based on limited evidence, serving as a starting point for further investigation or testing of its logical or empirical consequences. Hypothesize, to suggest a tentative explanation for an observation, such as a student proposing that salt prevents the ocean from freezing. Independent variable, a variable that is intentionally changed by the researcher to determine its effect on a dependent variable. Intriguing, arousing one's curiosity or interest, fascinating. Intrinsic, belonging naturally, essential. In the context of health, an intrinsic risk factor is one related to an individual's own body or health, such as a medical condition or the side effects of medication. Investigation, the formal or systematic examination or research of an incident or subject. Listless, lacking energy or enthusiasm. Mature, fully developed physically, full-grown. Mudslide, a mass of mud and other earthy material that flows down a hillside or other slope. Nutrients, substances that provide nourishment essential for the maintenance of life and for growth. In the text, an excess of nutrients in a pond is a key detail. Observational study, A study in which researchers observe the effect of a risk factor, diagnostic test, treatment, or other intervention without trying to change who is or isn't exposed to it. Oxygen, a chemical element that is a colorless, odorless gas. It is essential for the respiration of most living organisms. pH, a measure of how acidic or basic a substance is. The scale ranges from 0 to 14, with 7 being neutral. A pH less than 7 indicates acidity, whereas a pH greater than 7 indicates a base. In the text, soil pH is tested to determine if it's suitable for growing certain plants. Prediction, a statement about what will happen or might happen in the future, based on evidence and reasoning. Pressure, the continuous physical force exerted on or against an object by something in contact with it. In diving, this refers to the force of water, which increases with depth. Producer, an organism that produces its own food, usually through photosynthesis. In the example food chain, the flower is the producer. Proven, demonstrated by evidence or argument to be true or existing. Relevant, closely connected or appropriate to what is being done or considered. Research, the systematic investigation into and study of materials and sources in order to establish facts and reach new conclusions. Residue, a small amount of something remaining after the main part has gone or been taken or used. Response variable, a variable that changes as a result of a change in the explanatory variable, functionally the same as a dependent variable. Retailer, a business or person that sells goods directly to consumers. For example, a clothing retailer sells clothes to the public. Scientific investigation, the process of using a systematic, planned approach to answer questions or solve problems about the world. Scientific method, a method of procedure that has characterized natural science since the 17th century, consisting in systematic observation, measurement, and experiment, and the formulation, testing, and modification of hypotheses. Seismic activity, the frequency, type, and size of earthquakes experienced over a period of time in a particular area. Sonar, a technology that detects underwater objects by emitting sound pulses and analyzing their reflected echoes, used for mapping ocean topography or locating submarines. Species, a group of living organisms consisting of similar individuals capable of exchanging genes or interbreeding. Suppliers, companies or individuals that provide goods or services to another company. A purchasing manager must find suppliers that offer the best deals. The bends, decompression sickness, a medical condition affecting divers who ascend to the surface too rapidly, causing dissolved gases, primarily nitrogen, to form bubbles in the body as pressure decreases. Symptoms include joint pain, often severe enough to cause doubling over, dizziness, and shortness of breath. Topography, the configuration of natural and artificial physical features of an area, specifically referring to the shape and characteristics of the ocean floor in this context. Validity, in the context of research or a survey, validity refers to how well the study measures what it claims to measure. Variable, an element, feature, or factor that is liable to vary or change. 2.